Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well. Well, I'm Franky, and welcome to the Think Tank. I've got an echo, so let me figure this one out, guys. I hope everyone's doing well. There we go. I think I got it. Okay, let's see. Did I get it? I think the echo's gone. No, it's. What about this time? Oh, okay. So there's been quite a bit happening in the Delphi case. Hey, James, good to see you. There's been some paperwork coming out, and some of it I thought we could go through. Some of it's older, if you guys want to look. Oh, awesome. Thank you, James. There's some older stuff, if you're interested, we can go through. What I find very interesting is, well, hello, Slingen. We can go through if you'd like. It's Ron Logan's warrant. I know it's older, but it has got some great information. Basically, the things that they were searching for, the items that they wanted, and very similar to what they wanted and did take from Richard's house, in my opinion. So I thought maybe we could go through a few articles and see where we go from there. We are having like a very snowy week. I bet you we got about 6 inches the past while. Okay, let's see here, guys. So I did start up a Facebook page for the Moscow kids. So if you're interested in learning or adding anything, help yourself. Okay, I think we got something right here. So Delphi murders, what the unsealed documents reveal and the questions that do remain. So I do have this documentation. And again, it is pretty interesting. So let's see. I've actually been having problems with my internet. It's been going in and out and in and out. So let's see here. How about we start reading it and hopefully it'll kick in. So it's saying that evidence in the Delphi, Indiana double murder case was unsealed by the court on this past Tuesday, revealing key new details, including that the suspect, Richard Allen's gun, was linked to the crime. That is that bullet that they found between the kids, and they're probably going to fight this because it wasn't I don't know how they call it, but it didn't work, jammed or something, so we took it out. But somehow they still have striation marks. Let's see if this one will work. This could totally be because of my internet. Mountain living's wonderful, but okay. So that's Richard walking. And, we always figured that maybe he had a limp, but I think it's just, the trussels are not even. Some of them aren't even there for that matter. So let's see now if this came through. Maybe the one further up will come through for us. I'll just refresh it and see what it thinks of that. This is from the 1st of December. I don't know about you guys, but I do find that going back just brings some of the things that might be happening now.
Are responding for the at least 150 miles away.
Hmm? Oh?
Everything's made fresh. It's not stamped out. It's
This is not what we wanted.
Custom made to order exactly.
Okay.
It's seasoned
Pause.
perfectly. It's cooked perfectly. It's
Stop. Okay, let's do it this way. So the evidence in the Delphi, Indiana double murder case was unsealed, as we were saying, but many questions still remain around the murders of Abby Williams, 13, and Libby German, 14. Here's what has been learned. Abby and Libby, absolute the best of friends. I do believe from very young, very, very young. In the eighth grade, they were on a hiking trail in rural Delphi when they were unalived in February of 2017. So that would be February 13th, actually, 2017. So Richard Allen, Delphi man, was arrested over a month ago now. He's charged with 2 counts of unaliving, and he has pled not guilty. When interviewed by the police in 2017, he said he was on that trail. And on the afternoon of the murders, according to the probable cause affidavit, which I've also got here, he was saying he was just going for a stroll. So something interesting actually is I was poking around last night, and you know how they're talking about this purple PT Cruiser that was parked kind of in a funny angle where Richard was? Well, did a little bit of digging, and lo and behold, Tony Allen's mother, or you would be Keegan Klein's mother, just so happens to own a purple PT Cruiser. So I find that very interesting. I've never seen personally a PT Cruiser that color. So to actually see it with my own eyes, I was like, what? I don't know who took it, but it was, kind of like in a driveway. It wasn't a clear picture of it, but it was there. Still digging around to see if I can find any kind of paperwork, but I have not been successful quite yet. I don't know whose name it's under. So, in an October 13th, 2022 interview, Allen told police that he saw juvenile girls on the trail east of the Freedom Bridge. So, these 3 girls seen him basically towards the beginning of the trail. And they did talk about this kind of strange guy. Didn't seem grumpy, seemed like he was on a mission in a big rush. Didn't make eye contact, kept his head down and just phew. So, and there's also being said, allegedly, he was the only person seen on that trail, and he was not seen after around 2:15. So Allen admitted to police that he was on the trail, but denied knowing victim 1 or victim 2, and denied any involvement of their murders, according to the probable cause affidavit. So he has been inconsistent in the police interviews over the years. Former FBI agent and ABC News contributor Brad Garrett have said. He literally, and he does, he puts himself on that scene. He puts himself on that bridge. He was wearing the exact same clothes that was caught on that camera. I cannot say for sure, but rumors have it the voice comparison works out. You know, he was broad, not a tall guy. So that alone, I mean, oh boy, buddy. And he's got himself some pretty good lawyers. We'll get into that. I'd love to know your opinion on where did these 2 come from? Because they do not look like public defenders in my mind. So in a small town, in a place where there's a small amount of traffic, And on this abandoned railroad bridge, your suspect pool is fairly small. So police likely concentrated their investigation on the surrounding communities. You see, and that's the thing. You have to think 3,000 people in that town. I've lived in like very small towns. Actually, when I was young, we had less than 1,000. It was just like a couple streets here and a couple streets there. And you did. Everybody knew your business. You just tried to get home. I get very thirsty when I do these, but I do enjoy them. So according to a video recovered from the one victim's phone, Abby or Libby mentioned gun as a man approached them in the probable cause affidavit. So again, what I'm going to say is not gospel, but I did see it in an interview that Abby's mom was giving, and they did get to hear a little bit longer version than what the public did. And allegedly, it was, first of all, they're standing. Abby's back is towards the long part of the bridge. And it's her that says, basically, does he have a gun? And then another one of the girls squeals and says, it's a gun. And all of a sudden you hear this click. And somebody who researched that said that that was like somebody cocking a gun. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, I don't know. And surprisingly enough, even though they got all of that, there's one really creepy part actually in there where Abby says to Libby, he's right behind me, isn't he? And it's like, oh my God, that's horror show stuff. So a .40 caliber unspent round was found less than 2 feet away from one of the girls' bodies, and that an unspent round went through a gun that Allen owns. So this is in the probable cause affidavit. Garrett explained that an unspent bullet is one that has the casing and the projectile still together. To get that, he said one of two things happens. One, someone tries to fire the gun, but it's a faulty bullet and it does not fire. Or two, the gun jams. And that sounds like it's fairly possible and common. You see, here in Canada, we do not get, we don't have guns. So one resident described a person arrested in the Delphi murders as a local. So how about we take a quick look at this? See if it's got any information for us.
Robin G., the arrest not only bringing relief to this community, but shock, as many people who live here tell me that the suspect is actually a local working here in Delphi for years.
The murder of two teenagers from Delphi, Indiana, rattling their hometown to its core as more than 5 years by without an arrest.
It's scary. We have a lot of trails here, and I have an aged daughter, and we enjoy going on those trails and doing things in the community. So it just left you with a feeling of uneasiness.
Now some relief, as sources tell WRTV, our ABC affiliate in Indianapolis, that an arrest has been made in the investigation into the murders of Abby Williams and Libby German. The teens' bodies were found near a hiking trail in February of 2017. The name of the person arrested has not been confirmed, but sources say that the suspect appeared in court this morning. Heather Starkis says she knows the suspect. She described the person arrested as a local who worked at a Delphi pharmacy store for years. She had this to say about the suspect.
The person that they're accusing has children of their own, so how would you feel if something like this were to happen to your children?
German's sister posting on Twitter today in part, quote, "Just know how grateful I am for all of you. Today is the day."
I hope the best for the community and the families, that everybody can finally be at peace with what happened to those girls.
And Indiana State Police are expected to identify the suspect Monday morning, when they are expected to give us more information on this case. next week. For now, we're live in Delphi, Indiana. I'm Trey Ward, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
So there you go. So that's my feet rubbing on leather. That's what that sound is. So during a search of Alan's home, this was back in October 2022, officers did find knives, guns. So this includes the Sig Sauer, I think correct me if I'm not saying that properly, model P226. It was a 40 caliber pistol, and it is in the probable cause affidavit. Indiana State Police analysis of the gun determined the unspent rounds within 2 feet of the victim had been cycled through Richard's gun. When asked about the unspent bullet, Alan did not have an explanation as to why the bullet was found between the 2 girls. That's also in the probable cause affidavit. When Alan voluntarily spoke on October 26th, 2022, he had never allowed anyone else to ever borrow his gun that he did buy in 2001. To me, this is very important because he can't say, oh, I don't know how that bullet got out there. Like, we still don't know. Okay, we've got the one that's this one, but we do not know if any of these injuries also included a gun. So if that is the case, they will be able to match this stuff up. I don't know if he just used that as a way to subdue or if he planned on using it. Not much has been put out over the last 5.5, almost 6 years. Garrett says he doesn't understand why it took police so many years to match an unspent bullet round from the crime scene to a gun owned by a man who lives in Delphi. So correct me if I'm wrong. They can't just go around randomly and do search warrants, can they? Oh, absolutely, James. You know, I feel almost like I'm too biased, but I can't help it. This guy's bad. And as far as, you know, the cops that have been around the Delphi area, they've put their heart and soul into that. I hope we get to see full video at some point. He looks very similar to, oh my God, doesn't he though, Dandy? Like, unreal. He's the right size, the right hair, the right clothing, and he puts himself there. He, you know, I've heard from a few people that this is going to be rough on the prosecution. But this guy admitted to being there. His bullet was there. Nobody's seen the girls after that last recording. There's so much against him that, yeah. A spent bullet is identified by the barrel marks. Not sure how that works with an unspent round. Yeah, I mean, I don't own a gun. But where they're literally saying they have striation marks. So it is, I have no clue as to how that works. None at all. So let's see here. Despite the mention of the gun, it's not clear if Abby or Libby did actually from the gunshot wounds. Police have not released their cause of death. The probable cause affidavit did reveal the clothes belonging to the girls were found in the creek south of where their bodies were discovered. You see, and that was new to me too. I was never ever told that these girls, their essay, I do believe came back that nothing happened, thank God. So why are their clothing? What is I don't understand what this is all about, to be honest. I've always had concern about who these youngsters died. The police have put a .40 caliber weapon into the case, Garrett said. You have this unspent shell casing near the victims' bodies, but you also have things that are really troubling to me. The girls are in one place and their clothes are in another. Unless he made them undress, which I guess is possible. Was there some other weapons used? You know, and that again is why I found Ron Logan's search warrant very interesting. Let's see what we got going here, guys. How long is it?
And we are hearing more today from Delphi, Indiana police on the investigation into the deaths of 2 teenage girls back in 2017. 2 different sketches have been released, and police say they are still searching for anyone who may be connected to the murders. Richard Allen was charged with killing 13-year-old Abby Williams and 14-year-old Libby German as they hiked in Delphi. We heard from the Indiana State Police Superintendent about the reason for the different sketches.
I think that was the absolute right decision at the time to do what they did. I've always said that the 2 sketches are simply sketches, they're not photographs. It's a piece of an investigative puzzle.
Allen was recently transferred to state custody for safety reasons. He is due in court in a few weeks.
Investigators also cite a witness who said they saw Richard Allen walking with clothes that were muddy and bloody. Yes, this woman has come out and she swears up and down. This is the right time that she's seen him walking basically towards where his vehicle would be. So it's unlikely Allen would be bloody if a gun was the only murder weapon, unless handled the bodies in some manner. Okay, with that said, we're pretty sure there's like a sharp-edged tool, what would you call them, involved in this. We're pretty sure. So that is going to make a hell of a mess. And we don't know if he was alone. You know, did he go there and meet somebody else that was possibly at the bottom of that hill? I don't know if I can find them, but there are some do you guys think that he had help, or do you think he did this on his own? Hello, beautiful people. Oh, Frankie, I can see you. I thought I would change it up. It's good to see you, friend. Can you hear me now? Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay. So, I can't hide for a cigarette. Damn. Oh my. Okay. So let's go. Let's go back here. Police believe Alan is the man in the photo, right? Video from the one victim's phone shows a man on a trail wearing a dark jacket and jeans. An image taken from a video was released years ago as police asked for information to help them find the unknown suspect. You know, and this is the thing. Do you think, okay, how do you word this? Do you think the town had blinders on? Do you think that they just thought, oh, just because a person's got a goatee doesn't mean that he is involved with this situation, even though he's got the exact same clothes as this guy? Are they just going to say, well, everybody does? What is your take on that? Hey, Jessica. So what is your take on that with Mr. Keegan Klein? Okay, put this out, guys. I don't know how to hide. So, all righty. Out of respect for the prosecutor, my tongue's not doing it today. Okay. Carroll County prosecutor, we are refraining from making any public statements and are going to allow the probable cause affidavit to stand on its own and continue to be active with the ongoing investigation. So that is, let's see, close. That is their take on things. So I know this isn't the greatest resource, but you know what? Sometimes I find these just are better than, they seem to get information a little bit faster and it's not always wrong. I found a lot of factual information from the Sun. Okay, so evidence minefield. Delphi's theories of a second suspect working with Richard Allen and believes why cause of death was withheld. So there he is in his bright orange prison garb. XBI, special agent in charge, Paul Keenan, spoke with the Sun following the release of the affidavit pertaining to the arrest of Richard Allen, who in October was charged with the murders of Abby and Libby. You know, I don't know there, Richard. So we know that the girls were found dead on Valentine's Day and that they were just around the corner, basically, very close to the High Bridge. Again, they're mentioning that unspent bullet. And prior to the affidavit's release, prosecutors had pleaded with a judge to keep its contents out of the public view. So I'm not positive if it's going to say this, but there has been a gag order that has been put into this case. So we're not going to hear much at all. No further details were shared, and the affidavit made no mention of a second culprit. Oh boy. though releasing the documents may compromise the integrity of the ongoing investigation, Keenan believes. And, that is a really good reason to, not get the media involved. There are some of these people that, they show up at these families and they start interviewing and they start, I don't know, they're not cops. They're not even real media. They're YouTubers. And somehow they manage to get donations to pay for their trips to go to these different places and harass these different families. It just blows me away. But hey, that's for a different rant. So I hope you guys are all doing good. Our snow, is still coming down, but it's beautiful out here. If you're going to see the snow, you may as well watch it in the Rocky Mountains. Okay, let's go here and here. No. And let's see if we've looked at this. So, okay. So now we're getting into Richard Allen's attorney. I'd be really curious again to know what you guys think. So, are these guys set by the government, or did a couple of good lawyers just come in and offer to do this for, pro bono? I'd love to know your thoughts on that, because they don't look like they're just the run-of-the-mill prosecutors, or defense team that are offered to you by the courts. These people look a little bit different than that. So this is from December 2nd.
Police in Delphi, Indiana, announcing they have made an arrest in the killings of 2 teenagers, Abigail Williams and Liberty German. The girls went missing while on a hike in 2017. And one of the only pieces of evidence, at least publicly, was a final grainy video recorded by Libby of a man walking towards her. He says just 4 words, an order: guys, down the hill. Police now say that man was Richard Allen, and they've just charged him with the girls' murders. Arjun Casares is here with us now. What do we know about this man, Richard Allen, and what led to his arrest?
This is a huge day for the families just to have an arrest in this case. We know about Richard Allen, that he's 50 years old, that he lives in Delphi, which is a very small town. It's less than 3,000 people. We know that he's worked at the local CVS. We know that on October 13th, detectives, and this is from HLN, came to his home, and we do have a picture, I believe. They executed a search, detectives did, for hours. And Barbara McDonald, producer at HLN, says that he came out along with his wife. They stood outside. His wife sat in their car for a little bit, but for hours, detectives searched and took things out of the home. We know that he was arrested last Wednesday. He was formally charged on Friday with 2 counts of murder. He has already had his initial hearing. He has pleaded not guilty.
Again, this is such a small town, about 3,000 people. This is a man who works at the local CVS. He resembles the sketch. Why did it take nearly 6 years?
Well, here's some brand new information. Barbara McDonald of HLN spoke with the family of Libby German today. And her aunt said that she's a regular at the CVS, that she went there in 2017 when she was having the pictures made for Libby's funeral, and that he helped her. And that Rick Allen, as she knows of him, Rick Allen, he helped her making the pictures, and he said, look, I'm not going to charge you anything because this is for the funeral. And that is chilling, right there.
Chilling, no kidding. And as far as what, it's like they're still being very, very tight-lipped. Why?
It is amazing because the charging document is sealed. This is a public document. This is, I've seen hundreds, thousands of charging documents, and they say very little, but this is sealed. We also know that Libby's aunt told Barbara McDonald that she didn't recognize the pictures, the sketches they had put out with him. She never correlated the two. She doesn't think there's a similarity there. So maybe in fact in person there isn't a similarity, but everything is sealed. And that is amazing right there. They say it's because it's an open investigation, but they also say they know there will be a hearing because people are going to, probably the media is going to say this is public information. We have a right to know.
So yes.
Trump made these comments during November 2018 with Jinping.
Okay. So we know that he has been charged with 2 counts of murder. We know that the girls went on the hike on the Delphi historic trails and ended up on that Monon High Bridge. They're basically saying that Rick has nothing to hide. And the statement from his attorneys say, we feel it appropriate, necessary, and within the bonds of our rules of professional conduct to make a few comments concerning the probable cause affidavit and Rick's innocence. Investigators believe the evidence they've gathered show that Alan is the man seen on the video from Libby's phone. Sure looks like it to me. The 2 girls were dropped off, as we know, at 1:50, and that video shows them, well, that video is at 2:13, and they had to meet Mike, which is Libby's grandpa, I do believe right around the 3 o'clock time. A witness did tell investigators she had seen a man heading away from the bridge later, wearing a blue-colored jacket and blue jeans, and that he was muddy and bloody. So that's on that, what is it, Highway 300? She said he seemed to have gotten into some kind of fight, and this is on the affidavit. The man was traveling on the road adjacent to the crime scene, and investigators were able to determine that took place shortly before 4 p.m. So, strangely enough, Richard Allen does remember seeing 3 younger girls on that trail that day. So these are the ones that we were talking about a little earlier that said that they seen this guy that was like in this big rush and that was basically not overly friendly. Does anybody know how to add a mod on here for me? Do I do it through here or do I do it through YouTube? Anybody know? So let's see here. He was supposed to, but these guys, yeah. Anyone can step up to defend anyone as long as they hold proper credentials for the state. Okay, yeah, that totally makes sense. So does that make them, how would I put that? Are they independents or are they, like, is this a pro bono type thing? Or is this something that the government has arranged for him? I'm really curious about this. I mean, he deserves the best possible, but I'm not too sure how we ended up with these really good lawyers. Oh, they were appointed. Okay, that's very good to know. Mexi. Are we talking about the lawyers? I'm mute right now, but haha, because they are not legal defenders. They were specifically appointed by the court. All right. Sly, right? Yeah. These people are the epitome of creepy. The first judge said, no way can any attorney do the same. Anyone know? Very good question. That first judge, oh man, it didn't take him, 2 days and he was gone. He was not sticking around for this case. I don't think they really get to choose. I'm not sure. Yeah, Canada and the US are different. So I do get a little confused every once in a while about why things are happening a certain way. If the cop had released more than 2 frames of a video, I'm sure more locals would have identified. Yes, right, James. Like, what the hell? I agree with you 100%. I've got no idea why they have kept some of these things hidden, because really, they're, as far as I can tell, I mean, I don't know what all they have, but as far as I can tell, it's not helping the case. Possible, but they didn't want us to know about the gun, right? They get paid just a little lower. Okay. And I imagine that this is, if they win, this would be good for them and their companies. The media covered worried him. So are we talking about that first judge? Because I know he was worried about the safety of his family and yeah. Okay, so what have I got over here? Let's just make sure. Okay. Yeah, the media coverage. I guess with a young family, right? Make sure we haven't looked at this. Oh, thank you. Okay, this is interesting. Yes, we have not been through here. So the man charged in connection with the murders of Abby Williams and Libby German wants his trial moved. I was waiting for this. I bet you guys were too. The court-appointed attorney for 50-year-old Richard Allen was filed and requested this week for a change of venue. Allen is charged with 2 counts of murder in connection with the February 13th/14th, 2017 case. Court documents remain under seal, and at the request of the Carroll County prosecutor, Nick McClelland, until Tuesday afternoon, when a redacted version was filed. So, documents, bullet found near the girls, tied back to Richard Allen. The motion for the change of venue, extensive media attention, and the highly publicized nature of this case from the initial investigation through to Richard's arrest. The murders have gained significant coverage in local and statewide and national media. The motion noted, Allen's attorney also said the coverage on the podcasts and social media extended its reach. Yeah, there's a lot of people covering this, I will say that. And really, what's been happening in this case, it's all over the place. They can't hide it. Let's see here. The motion compared to data to Fort Wayne, which included about 260,000 residents, making about 13 times the size of Carroll County in terms of population. Searches for Richard Allen ranged 1,000 and 10,000 searches after Allen's arrest, representing about 1 in every 26 seconds he's getting searched. Wow. Fort Wayne is less than 100 miles from Delphi. The motion argued that search traffic dropped in communities farther away from Delphi. Moving the trial farther away would increase the likelihood of finding a juror or jurors who would not be familiar with this case. I mean, look at how long it's been going on for. Yeah, there's not too many places they're going to be able to take this where people don't know what's happened. I mean, it was a disgusting crime. So Benjamin Diener, the Carroll County judge. My dog's having a nightmare. Can you hear? Allen's arrest in October sent shockwaves through the small city. It came more than 5 years after the unsolved unalivings of Abby and Libby, again, who disappeared February 13th, 2017. Shortly after their deaths, Indiana State Police released key evidence, including a sketch, a grainy photo, and then there was that recording down the hill. And then 2 years later, they changed up that poster, that sketch, and let's see here. It did. In my mind, it added just a little bit more confusion into this situation. Okay, I'm just going to see. I've got a few more tabs up here, so I just want to see if there's anything that we need to go over that we have not. Okay. No. Okay, let's see if there's anything interesting in here for you. So there is that gag order. I don't know, what do you guys got? Let's see if I can get this to Wow. It's not popping up. Okay, I'll try this one again. So y'all having a good day? So let's see if this is going to let me. Oh, not interesting. So do you guys think with this fancy pants lawyers thing that it's him at all? I sure hope not. Like, some of these guys are good. I just want facts. That's all, the facts. Trying to get you guys a couple of updates here on video, but seems like my computer doesn't want to. This was a little while ago. Have you guys been watching the Michael Vaughn case? Isn't that just the saddest thing ever? Okay. Let me try this one again. See how long this is and see what he has to say. Yeah. And personal.
And this a long time and turn out that some of this guy down the hill, and now you have the suspect who is being charged. Nancy?
That's right. Remember, there were and we've only heard a snippet. Now, law enforcement they have their reasons for keeping still as right now under seal. PC probable cause was taken to a magistrate just on Friday 8th. The judge agreed for arrest warrant. Find it very, very probative that a few days before that, they were at Allen's home, Richard Allen, aka Rick or Ricky Allen, searching, and suddenly they're digging in the backyard. We know that not one but two items were taken from the scene where the girls were killed. So I'm wondering what we're going to learn from the full audio, what's at the scene. I do believe the bodies were staged and that there was a copious amount of blood. Do I like it? No. What does it mean? It means that very likely the killer had their blood on him. I noticed in the presser today that the sheriff thanked many divisions of the scientific labs. That tells me fingerprints, fiber, DNA, possibly genetic genealogy. We're going to learn a lot when that affidavit is finally unsealed.
Finally, indeed. Nancy Grace, thank you so much. And Alexis, we thank you as well for following that.
So it's not interesting because if I remember correctly, they were even looking for animal hair fibers. So let's see here. Lawyer for the Indiana man accused of killing two teenage girls on a hiking trail. 2017 said their client has cooperated with investigators and called into question evidence being presented. Oh my God. Rick has nothing to hide except for his boots, gun, knife. My opinion. We know that they were found. So this is Libby's mom, and I do believe grandfather. We did watch this live, so it will be in the Abby and Libby playlist. The attorneys noted that Allen contacted authorities to let them know he was on the trail. So I learned a little bit about that yesterday. You know, this conservation officer that everybody's talked about? Well, it honestly sounds like he did not really go in and defend or explain what he was doing. It literally sounds like he ran into this guy at the grocery store. This is what I'm hearing. I mean, I don't know. But it sounds like Richard was coming out, this guy was going in, or vice versa. And he stopped him and said, hey, so I don't know what that is called. I don't even know what that is. Rick tried to assist the investigation and told the police that he did recall seeing the three younger girls on the trail that day, but he does not recall if his interaction with the conservation officer was tape recorded, but believes that the conservation officer scribbled notes on a notepad. So what? Does this mean next to his grocery list? I don't like this. The attorney said they chose to speak out after prosecutors have held multiple press conferences over the past 5 years, while Allen has only been able to assert his innocence once during a press conference after a court hearing. No, like, if I remember correctly, he was kind of feeling kind of bad for himself. And I know he was don't know if he still is, but he was in like a rubber room where he couldn't hurt himself. And he was sleeping. Well, the rest of the inmates were kind of like saying not so very nice things because they knew he was in there. So it says he was arrested on October 26th on suspicion, and his bond was set at 20 million. Now that may have changed. Very interesting, right? Yeah. So let's see if we can look at this gag order a little bit. Well, hello. I'm going to check you out first. You've been busy chit-chatting. I love it. Yeah. Okay. The cops had released more than 2 frames of video. I'm sure more locals would have identified. Yeah, we were just right. Yeah, possible they didn't want us to know about the gun. You know, and that's the thing. Very well could be. Very, very well could be. They get paid just okay. The media coverage worried them. Well, okay, I hope you guys can still hear. So when I do that, can you guys hear me at all? Yes, that first judge, absolutely. How are they going to find an unbiased juror? I think I was the last person to hear about this. Good morning, Jessica. Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. Well, it's not normal to plaster the judge and family all over the place. That was a boundary that they crossed over, I think, anyways. Yeah, you know, I even heard at this point that they are doxing like the new judge. They're doing what do you do that? How do you say that? They're doing what the weasels do. You know, there's so many times, there's so many cases out there right now that I just find it quite devastating at who, you know, they're saying that they are social media. I got kicked out of my stream. Okay, let's go. Okay, this is dandy. I don't think government officials should have to list private or personal information. I agree. Like, I totally agree. I think that's where the investigation got off to a different path. And the second sketch, right? Good day. How about yours, Franky? I'm doing well, thank you, friend. Yeah. These guys are no slouches. Both lead and co-counsel are partnered in their own respected firms. Right? So this is where, like, this little sleuth gets confused. How is that? Like, how is that working? That they get these great public defenders. I mean, if that's the way it is, that's the way it is. But it just, I don't know. Maxie, hi, sunshine. Accomplished lawyers, they really do. I'm sure they're going to pay their own experts to prove any evidence again. Yeah, agreed. Mexi, Shauna, you see that tailored blue suit lead counsel was in? I mean, the other guy didn't see the thing. And very well spoken. Yep, they came to play. Didn't come forward when Elios asked the public in 2019 about the cars and people on the trail. Right? That could be too. Shauna, defense is usually like the bad guys. These two are going to switch gears here. They're already using the public forum in their favor. I'm interested in how they play. So am I. This is this is interesting. I mean, honestly, hey Connor, nice to see you. Honestly, this guy, he needed heavy hitters. He really did. Like, he's got a big fight in front of him. And I believe that the cops have a heck of a lot more than what they're showing us right now. So I might have one more to show you guys. There's so much happening in all these different cases. It's right now, I think I was telling you, I set up a Facebook group for the Idaho students that were killed. I wanted a place where we could maybe gather information, honest information, work together, which is my favorite thing. And one of my favorite reasons for doing these think tanks. Okay, then there was that. So I don't think, let me take a look over here. We did that. Close. Oh, okay, let's check this one out. Nothing to hide. I think this is it. Oh, I don't think that's nothing to hide. Let's see if these guys, Delphi, people close to the Delphi case will no longer be able to talk. This is about the gag order. About it at least until after the January hearing on Friday. So this comes out December 2nd. So 4 days ago. Judge Francis Gull issued an order granting the state's motion for a gag order on the Richard Allen case. I get it. The order was issued after Allen's defense released Thursday against the and asked for a large gag order to be filed, which would bar Allen and attorneys connected to the case, law enforcement court staff, the coroner, and even family members making extrajudicial statements by the means of public communication. The gag order will be in place pending a hearing on January 13th. That is when Judge Gall previously said she would consider the motion. On that day, she will also consider another motion in the case. Ellen's defense attorney asked Judge Gall for a change of venue, and due to it being a highly publicized case, the nature of the case, as reasons to move the trial 150 miles away to reduce the likelihood of obtaining. I'm in Canada, and I have been following this for almost 6 years. So him and his 150 miles away, we have all heard about this. So it says violations of the gag order is punishable as contempt of court and subject to violator to a fine or even incarceration. So this is basically the court's motion to suppress. On the court's motion, in response, let me get rid of this. In response to the defendant's undated press release, the court issued an order granting the state's motion for order prohibiting the parties, counsel, law enforcement officials, court personnel, coroner, and family members from disseminating information or releasing any extrajudicial statements by means of public communication in whole, pending the hearing, which the court has just recently scheduled for January 13th, 2013 at 10 a.m. And that is back in the Carroll County Circuit Court. Sorry, I do have to have a little sip. My lips are sticking together. Counsel for the state of Indiana and the defendant, as well as their professional staff and other personnel, law enforcement officials, court personnel, coroner, and all family members are prohibited from commenting on this case to the public and to the media directly or indirectly by themselves or through an intermediary in any form, including any social media platforms. So let's see. I can think of a couple people that I'm not affiliated with and don't watch their channels for my own reasons, but I have a feeling they're going to have a big problem with this. That group there needs to know everything. So violations of this order are punishable as contempt of court and subjected the violator to a fine and or incarceration. This was dated December 2nd. So I think that's great. I think that's absolutely great. It was, they had to do something, right? They absolutely had to do something. Let's see here. Frankly, let's see here. I don't think there's an area so small that they have limited amount of defense lawyers. I think they actually put their name on a registry. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's kind of what I thought. Richard's mugshot is nothing short of creepy, right? The one in the orange suit and the one in the red suit are equally creepy. He did have a buggy looking eyes, to be honest. I'd be looking like something similar if I was, right? Yeah, he's creepy, all right. Let's see here. Creepy, creepy, creepy. Yes, he's never been arrested as far as I know. Yeah, no, this is the first that anybody knows of. I'll be curious, though, now that we know that they've got some form of DNA, and I can just imagine that maybe this will hook up to some other things. Getting your mugshot taken isn't like getting your picture taken for a driver's license, that's for sure. I wouldn't imagine. For a capital case like murder, I think they must be able to defend in case of the death penalty. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes total sense. So now I think I just want to take a peek over here. And I'm going to I did go through last night. Now, this is just a few things I thought we could take a peek at before we head out. Those are just some of the things I found last night when I was scouting around. Let's try that again. Okay. So, let's see here. Keegan and I don't know, but get off his knee. So this is Keegan when he was younger. Not sure who he would have had that picture taken with. This is another Keegan. Wow, eh? Tony with one of his miniguns, which I found fairly interesting. Tony again. I don't know. He's just, ugh. And let me see what my other one was. There might be a couple things in there. So we were talking about the lawyers. There we go. Bradley A. Rosie is a partner at Hillis, Rossi, and Dean. Brad is a 1991 graduate of Logansport High School and earned a Bachelor of Science degree in criminal justice with a political science minor from Winona State University in Winona. Brad went on to earn a master's degree in criminology from Indiana State University. These are his lawyers. Wow. So in 2002, he was admitted to practice law in Indiana and immediately began working for his father in law, John R. Hillis, in Logansport. Before becoming a lawyer, Brad also worked as a private investigator in Indianapolis. Wow. Brad's wife and 4 children. So that's one guy. And this is the other one, Andrew J. Baldwin. When I came up with the concept for the criminal defense team, I knew that our firm would initially be mocked by the traditional legal system. No law firm had ever so boldly proclaimed their desired identity. There was a family law team or a contract law team. In fact, law firms were always identifying by the name. So, by the name of partners in the firm. Who would want to hire lawyers from a firm called the Criminal Defense Team? So, this is him. Trial specialist, criminal trial specialist, board certified founding partner. Yeah, that's the lawyers. So as far as this stuff there, this is another deep dive just going even through here. So I think maybe I will leave it for another day. If you guys are interested, like we have lots of paperwork in here. And if you're interested, just hit me up in the comments. Send me, yeah, I'm on Twitter. Discord's a great place to find me. It is in the link below. And I don't check my emails as much as I should, but I don't think I was getting a lot either. So try and reach me on one of these platforms, Twitter, Facebook, and we can touch base. I would love to know your thoughts. Like I said, keep them down below, and that way I can kind of go over everything. So let's see. Buggy looking eyes. He had buggy looking eyes, to be honest. I'd be looking for some. Yeah, I just love that comment. I heard somewhere that there was only a limited number in Indiana eligible to defend him. Okay. Okay. He's never been arrested as far as I know. No fun. Okay, let's go down here. Red puffy eyes. That's a whole life change. Embarrassment for yourself, your family. I can't imagine the things that are happening that you can't physically see. My comment was too long. I'd be flipping the F out. I'd be one of those chairs you see inmates strapped to. Yeah, ma'am. Doesn't he though? Like, I don't know. Keegan Kline didn't look that messed up. This guy is like, hey, Barb. This guy is just, I don't know. But I don't know what you think, but I think he might be singing a little bit. I have a feeling because when Richard was first arrested, that was right towards the end of the Wapiti thing. And I'd really like to know, like, I think there's a connection. I think the connection is going to be bigger than, I think it'll be surprisingly big. Yeah, the odds are not in his favor. Right? You guys crack me up. So with that, oh my God, you guys are so much fun. I appreciate you. You know, a person does have to kind of, you know, take the giggles when we can. This stuff can be pretty heavy, but you guys are adorable. I really do appreciate you. It's true. That is true, Connor. So I'm going to be headed over to Facebook to try and set up that new channel for the Moscow kids. So if you're on Facebook, what did I call it? Let me go over here. It is in the description, though. It is absolutely in the description. So I'll just leave it at that for now. So yeah, come on over and see me on, I've got the 3 sites now on Facebook. One is kind of maxed out with people. The other one is just kind of, I've shifted it over to the true crime and all the daily stuff that we're doing. And this new one is strictly on the Moscow kids. And feel free to come over, add anything that you think is important to this case. Main thing is let's get this information out. Thank you. Great show, Frankie and chat. Remember to hit that thumb. I appreciate it, James. Okay, my friends. Sadly, I got to jump off and go get some of this stuff done. But I'm going to probably try and do one live every day. And yeah, hit that notification, subscribe, and I will actually be more than the next one. Bye.